Hyundai Motor India Limited. Given his busy schedule, he wants to motivate and guide us. Thank you so much for our chairman sir Kadir Gnanapadiyappan and director ma'am Dr. Parkavi Mahalingam and director sir Rahul Ramachandran for giving me this opportunity. I hope our chief guest will make this day colorful, knowledgeable, and informative with his valuable speech. I also extend my warm welcome to all who have gathered here to witness this beautiful day. Thank you so much and heartily welcome you, sir. Now, I would like to call upon our AGM sir, Mr. Ranjit Kumar, to give brief introduction about our chief guest.
Thank you so much, AB Ashish. Thank you so much for the welcome address. Today, it is a wonderful morning. We have all gathered here and for a very beautiful session. Even on a weekend, our students are very keen in learning something to share the knowledge, and our chief guest is also here. We would like to thank you, first of all, sir. Thank you so much for coming, and even in your busy schedule, you have allocated your day, and you have given a wonderful chance for to share the knowledge with you. Thank you so much, sir. And I would like to share a few words about Mr. Datta. So, Mr. Datta has more than 40 years of experience in various capacities and has 20 years of rich experience in automobile industry alone. Besides this, he has represented automobile industry before various state and central government authorities seeking reforms in direct and indirect tax laws. He is an executive committee member of SIAM, Association of Automobile Manufacturers in India, in addition to MCCI. It is a gratified experience for your life, sir. Now I would like to uh, thank you once again for your sharing your knowledge and expertise with us, sir. And today's topic is all about the opportunities in manufacturing industry after COVID-19. So this particular COVID-19 has affected a lot, but still, if there is a negative side, there should be always a positive side. So we would like to hear it from an industry leader like you, that what are the positive sides from the, what are the positive sides which are there, what are the opportunities are there apart from this, that in this manufacturing industry. And on behalf of our college management, our chairman sir, our director ma'am, and our director from Hyderabad Rahul, and everything on behalf of everyone and our beloved students, we welcome you, sir, and we would like to have your session, sir.
Good morning to everyone, Dr. Bhargavi, Dr. Rajesh, Mr. Ranjit, and all the students. I understand the institute has done a lot of good, initiative in terms of last 13 years doing an excellent job in terms of keeping the education of the student, and that ensuring that they are also employed. I saw the profile; it's very interesting and very encouraging. And I have been meeting Dr. Bhargavi quite some time, and then of course we also did some plant visit, I think last time once, and I request all of you to visit the plant nearest to your city here, Chennai. It's one of the state-of-the-art plant, and very informative, educative in terms of knowing how things are being done and how manufacturing activity happens. Now, in this session, let me begin. It may take about 40 to 50 minutes of presentation. I'll very briefly explain how things are happening in the world and in India. And after that, I'll explain you what are all the challenges and issues and what government is doing, what are the initiatives taken by the government. And of course, I'll also dwell on the subject of opportunities. Definitely, this pandemic has created a huge opportunity, and it's a very very heartening to see that India is in the forefront and it's taking every step, every opportunity it is encashing. The leadership today in India is definitely making sure that the youngsters in India do get the opportunity and also to do it here and also to excel maybe not just making it in India, but also making it for the world. Yeah, I have a brief presentation. This presentation basically has prepared in keeping in view the students. I have tried to give extremely huge, I mean, very wide information. Data is given in this presentation. It helps you, all the students, in if you are preparing any document data, or if you are preparing any notes, or even if you are preparing an article based out of this presentation, you'll be able to do so, because I have given enough data in this so that it helps you to do that. And also it's a kind of a learning as to how things are happening, how things, challenges are now faced, and how the opportunities are being created in India for all the youngsters like you. So let us move on to the presentation, Mr. Ranjit. Can we?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, this presentation will be circulated to all of you, so you don't have to listen. Just listen to the presentation. It would be very nice. So now, this basically what has happened in the year 2019, that is last year, the COVID-19, that is this virus started. There are so many stories around it, that the China started it all with an intention of creating this kind of a pandemic in the world, and also to encash or to capture, or with a lot of ideas, ulterior motive. But anyway, things did not go well. Like if you look at the chart there, the whole world looks red. I mean, that is the kind of pandemic, it has spread across the world, more than 184 countries. And in all, it has also almost about 13 million. Yeah, about 13 million people are affected. Almost half a million are dead already. Yeah. So almost half a million, people are already dead, and there are a lot of countries are over and over and above getting, affected. And in India, it was, of course, started late, but then it is still, catching up. There is no sign of recovery as yet. And if you see the chart on the, right hand side, there are a lot of, we are given data on how people are, the countries have taken that, and what kind of actions they have taken, what kind of activity they are doing, and where do they. But all over the world, there is one thing that is definitely developing, is that they are not at all happy with the way China has done it. And they have also kept many things in secrecy. So this has created a lot of suspicion on China, though it is one of the manufacturing, hub for the whole world, which now they are definitely losing out. Go to the next slide. Yeah. So this impact, if you look at this chart, the kind of job it has hit, there's a huge impact on the jobs. Everybody has lockdown. Every country now, even within country. Yesterday, I was seeing Australia. Within the states also now they have created, which of course India has also done. So every state within the country is again. So yeah, if you see this chart, gentlemen, so this gives how jobs are affected. Extremely high impact of job loss, because most of the countries have locked down, because of which the productions or manufacturing is not happening, trading is not happening. A lot of impact. And also manufacturing, major economies, manufacturing definitely affected. China apart, most of the countries are simply lost all the manufacturing activities. In the month of April, it was practically entire industry was zero. There's no production at all happening in India. So that kind of a situation definitely has happened all over the world. And the chart here is also showing the expected decline in global trend. That is also shows negative. So entire world is seeing this pandemic, and it's all get going down, and this has definitely created a lot of apprehension among the uh, world over, all over the world. And then if you see the right hand side, the bottom part, where we have given what kind of money people are spending, countries are spending. No, they have spent on the stimulus packages. Every country has spent. I think out this, the Germany has spent about 20%. About each country, of course, France, US, every country. US has spent. UK has spent about 15%. We also have spent about 8.8%, something like that, India, but definitely not negligible. It is considering our size, our economy, very, very considerable and then very good at this moment. So that is where it stands. So what kind of steps everybody are now taking is one thing that we need to look. Okay, now let us go to the next slide. This is basic. This shows about the Indian scenario. Today, this is as on 10th July. If you look at it, the green, in the chart, the green is looking more attractive, imperative. And why? Because the recoveries, the whole country is looking at more and more recoveries. People are, getting proper medication, though there are some instances of negligence or deaths are there, but still the positive side looking at recoveries are more. And then the recoveries have also shot up in the recent past and making it the country to open up. What did the country did? Go to the next slide. So what we did is that we started, initially locking down. Ranjit, can we go to the next slide? Yeah. What the country did is that there's a huge, cause economic impact is huge. Lakhs of crores of rupees lost. Many jobs have lost. A lot of disruption has happened. But still, it started on, from March, and then we did the lockdown number 1, 2, 3, like that. And then also we started the unlock also. Now one is over. Now we are in unlock 2.0, where we have started opening up one by one as to the economy, manufacturing, everything. Now we have started opening. If you look at it, the chart here, this is basically showing how did the growth trajectory happen. Normally, every economy, every country will go through a kind of a phase where it goes up and come down. We were on a downward trend already. Post at 19, we were little going down, but this pandemic has created a very, very deep impact, and we went down heavily. But then this country is one where the recovery happens much faster. That is the feeling of everyone all over the world. Then the chart on the right hand side down, it shows what kind of recovery is expected. Is the expectations. There are a lot of agencies are indicating that it from 8% or 9% we may go down to 1%. Some have said even negative. But then 1.5 to 2% is definitely a very, very good under the present circumstances. We can look for a faster recovery and good recovery in the coming months. So this quarter, of course, is only a starting phase, and possibly the next 2 quarters you can see very, very good recovery happening. So that means to say the opportunities also will be there, and it is for all of you to look at it. Yeah, next slide. So how these recoveries are happening, this chart basically indicates you the kind of various recoveries that are been showing up. Because the bottom portion shows on the GST collection, how April, May, and June happened. June is almost very close to the normal situation. It is coming back. So that means to say that definitely there is a recovery, and it's also start taking it up much faster. So whether it is different parameters are indicated here only to show that the recoveries are much faster and better also. So from this month onward, like from July, August onwards, what will happen? This is the third quarter of the calendar year. So definitely third and fourth of this calendar year quarters will be improving, and possibly will start taking up much in a bigger way and then in a better way. Government is also putting a lot of effort in offering you incentives and some packages, some concessions, subsidies, interest subvention, moratorium. A lot of things government have offered, which is really good. I mean, like all other countries, India has also offered, but being the younger population more in India, definitely there is an opportunity. And I wish and hope all the youngsters, like you, will definitely take this forward in a big way for the country and for the world. Next slide. So how the impact has happened? The impact was not very small. China, I do not know in what intention the whole activity was done. Of course, a lot of investigation is going on world over as to how did this happen and what kind of triggering happened. All this, nevertheless, China being the manufacturing country for the whole world, they should have taken in a better way the whole thing. The war, the virus war definitely has taken by surprise, and of course the impact is too huge. And if you see this chart, the economies have grown terribly bad, and then the kind of impact it has created from last year to the current year, entire the world economy, the top 10 we have given here, it is very bad, worst. So the impact not just affected all over the world, it has affected the China itself. The way they were trying to doing it, China has severely affected. All the exports that they were doing for all over the world is now impacted. There's a huge loss of job in China, whereas there is huge opportunity they have created for for other countries to capture that. So all the countries have now started moving their facilities from China to other countries. Some of them are, of course, US, Germany, Japan. In fact, Japan is offering subsidies to the companies who are trying to move out of China and setting up their plant elsewhere. So there are three countries which are really Vietnam, Indonesia, and of course India. These are the three countries trying to capture, trying to attract these investments. Every country, every state within the country is also setting up. A lot of inquiries are coming. Like for example, now since we are all here in Chennai, I refer to Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu government has set up an initiative wherein now they are going to talking to each country, including chief minister has been talking to them, asking them to give some opportunity for the state. They're trying to bring them here, give them a lot of incentive or facilities to set up. So this is the kind of situation we are in today. So it has affected all the countries, economy, and now there's a slowdown, of course, happening. But of course, there is an opportunity now for India, for the country, to take it up and then move forward. Yeah, next slide. So this impact, without China realizing it, has happened. Now, one is the Chinese exports have become zero, almost negligible or zero, and they all have started closing down their plants. There are many stories coming out saying that they have started closing down their plant. It has affected. Inside there is so much of unrest is there. Added to that, yesterday I was listening to a news item wherein they were saying the banks are affected. So I believe they are in a huge debt in terms of borrowing, because of which all the banks are sunk. And now people started going, like you have heard in the India also, some of the banks closing down. Suddenly people are rushing to the bank to withdraw money. Same situation is happening in China also today. So they're all rushing to the bank and then trying to withdraw money. Now government is telling, no, no, you can't withdraw. You can withdraw only so much money, very little cash, all that. Definitely is in a very bad shape. So China has in turn, created an opportunity for countries like India to encash and come up. So I'll explain in the next slide. Next slide, Ranjit. This is, I'll just explain very briefly on this. This is on the Indian economy, the GDP, how it was, growing and what kind of impact. Basically, it used to grow, at 7% plus, and then it went down, and then now we are looking at very, very low. We have come down to 4.5, and it is further going down. Recovery do happen, but of course it takes little longer time. But anyway, next 2 quarters we must definitely look at better days ahead for the country. Next. Some slides I'll just pass through. This is only to indicate that, give you some information. As a student, you will have all these information which are useful. So these are the likely scenarios. If you, read it at a leisurely time, it will, give you some idea as to how, what kind of combinations or permutations or assumptions are being made. So we have created 3 scenarios here as to how Indian economy will bounce back. Next slide. So in addition to that, of course, India as a country, we as a country ourselves have got a huge consumption, whether it is automobile, steel, construction, transportation, many things, consumer durables, FMCG. So many things, we ourselves as a huge economy, we produce, we consume, itself is enough. But now what we are trying to do is to create an opportunity for the country here, wherein we just not produce, we will also export. We just not produce, but we also service outside. Not just, service outside, we also make sure that other economy will take benefit of the opportunity here, and then also make sure that the latest technology comes in, and then it is also benefit the country as a whole, and then of course so much of job opportunities also created. Next slide. So what kind of supply side, what is the kind of impact that we had? As you all know, China is one of the major manufacturing hub. Whatever it is, you name the product, they are making. In fact, even the medicine, wherein the dependence on the raw material is very huge. Government of India was dependent on China for their supplies, for the raw material. And some of the medicine that they were promising to other countries for the treatment of COVID, in fact, US, there was a huge demand, other countries, Brazil, a lot of demand for the medicine. They were asking India, please support. But then the raw material we were to get from China, China suddenly increased all the prices, creating a panic situation for the country. But then nevertheless, this is the kind of situation we are in. So dependence on China is very huge. How much is the dependence is also indicated. So this dependence has to now come down, has to stop. So what is happening because of that is this package of the government of India. They call it as Atmanirbhar Bharat. Atmanirbhar Bharat in English meaning of this is self-reliant, self-reliant country. So for that, what kind of effort is to be made already started, whether it is medicine, or it is steel or electronic, everything, automobile, wherever required, tires, for example, or even some of the, I'm being the person from automobile industry, I know how many components, one is importing from China. So definitely there's a huge dependency, which is now slowly changing it. So it's an opportunity government of India has now created to make sure that we take the opportunity head on and then make the best out of it. Next slide. So this disruption, anytime, it's a learning in life also. If there is a problem, each one of you should look at it as an opportunity or a challenge. Don't call a problem as problem, call it as a challenge. But how do you meet it? You always look at it as an opportunity or as a learning experience. There's so many things that happened because of this COVID. So what will happen post-COVID? Post-COVID, definitely the opportunities are being created. So the first and foremost is shifting. All the manufacturing activity will shift. More and more localization will happen. So far, everyone used to talk about globalization, right? If you want to go bigger, you need to go global, you need to go bigger, you need to export, or you need to set up units elsewhere. All these kind of talks used to happen everywhere. So one used to say you need to go global. Now there is no such thing. So it has become reversed now. Instead of go global, now they are talking about go local. So everyone is now talking about localization, how much one can localize. So this is a great opportunity. Then other thing that we are talking about is digital. So whatever money transaction that we were doing, so this has been now converted into digital payment or either through net or through your telephone, whatever way we are paying. We don't use cash. We use this kind of digital payment for many things. I mean, digital is just an indication, but then is the idea is that we are slowly moving from physical this thing to digital world. And of course, in addition to all this, there is a variable cost model in the sense that we are not just moving from the global to local. We are also moving in the direction of reducing the cost, making it competitive, making sure that this can be exported to the other world, other parts of the world, wherein they will, can depend on us. Instead of depending on China, they can depend definitely on India. The major difference between China and India is, of course, the political leadership and the way the leadership around. There's a communism is in prevalence, the communist country, whereas in India, being a democratic country, definitely will be able to support the other economies is the thinking of the world leader. So definitely is an opportunity. So everywhere there is a sign of recovery, sign of opportunity, sign of building value, sign of building a huge setup in terms of encashing the opportunity. So COVID has created an opportunity for the country, for the younger people like you, to make sure that you go places, you benefit, you grab this opportunity and succeed. That's the thing.